Hey guys, MetalJesus here, and I am back again with John Riggs.
How's it going, man?
Good, man.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to this video for a long time. This is hidden gems found in compilation collections.
That's right. This is for me because often I get these and I haven't played all the games in there.
Right, a lot of games.
Yeah, there's a lot of games, and sometimes you just want to know, okay, what are the hidden gems in there? I think it's going to be cool.
Right, you might know a couple of them, but then looking deeper, there's going to be some B-sides, so to speak, that you may have never even known about.
Absolutely. Let's take a look. So dude, you were the perfect person for me to bring on this because you are all about the compilation. It's what you do, right?
I thought you were going to say because you're cheap, and you would also be right, because these compilation games, many of them are on disc, they're usually like 20 bucks when you find them new and stuff like that.
I love them. I know, they're awesome.
And they're so full of games. In fact, I have today an Xbox One for the sole purpose of playing Rare Replay. That is the reason I picked up an Xbox One, was just for that reason. Now, I'm a huge fan of compilation games because it's more bang for your buck, my friend.
Absolutely.
More bang, and I'm not talking about the Young Guns finishing move. I'm not talking about some seedy downtown parlor or something like that. More bang for your buck is the name of the video here, and I'm gonna show you some great hidden gems found on compilation collections like this. ATARI, you know them, you've heard of them.
Speaking my language here.
I'm a huge fan of ATARI, no doubt about it. Now this game, this disc here features a ton of great Atari 2600 games, but also some Atari arcade games. I wanted to bring up Major Havoc. You remember that game at all? No,
Well, I've heard of it. Honestly, I'm an Atari fan. I don't think I played that.
Yeah, Major Havoc, it was one of the first games that stood out to me as like, the graphics were very vector-like. It was all like outlines of things. Fantastic animation to it when you're playing it. Your controller in the arcade was a little spin thing, kind of like the Arcanade controller with the jump button.
Yeah.
But you fight off the enemies in your ship, you land your ship on the deal, and then you go inside. You have to pick up oxygen along the way too to keep yourself breathing. And set the bomb, fly out, blow up the thing, and it's called Major Havoc, and it's for the arcade, but I was able to play it once again 20 years later on this game here.
You're already blowing my mind. I own this, and I didn't know that.
Well, we'll pop it in after this video. You're going to love it.
Oh my god. Yeah, I will.
Next one I want to bring up is for the Nintendo DS. This is the Capcom Classics arcade hits. Now, Capcom, for its time, one of the kings of the gaming industry, this features a lot of great games. It features the arcade version of Contra. It features Russian Attack. It features a ton of great games on there. But one game it does feature that I never saw a port for any of the game systems I had growing up is a game called Roc'n Rope. Roc'n Rope, it's like Donkey Kong. You start at the bottom, work your way to the top, but instead of having ladders to go up there, you have your kind of like a spear, like a grappling hook type thing.
That's right.
And you have to shoot it at an angle. So when you do that, there's monsters there too, so they try to get on your rope and knock you off. And you have your flashlight's your only weapon. You can stun them or knock them off your rope. But it's called Roc'n Rope, and it's a lot of. If you love Donkey Kong, man, Roc'n Rope's where it's at.
You are blowing my mind. I remember playing as a kid, and I haven't thought about it until this day.
You have a machine right there that can play every video game known to man.
I'm loving this. Okay.
All right. Blowing your mind even more. Sticking with the Konami, this is the Konami Antiques MSX collection for the import Sega Saturn. Now the MSX was...
That's a computer.
It was a Japanese computer that was either heavily funded by or made by Konami. Like everything on it was Konami, it seemed like anyway.
Okay.
This features a lot of great games. Most of them are kind of like, cool to see what they had for the MSX. But there's a weird game called Comic Bakery.
Comic Baker.
Now, bear with me on this. You play as a baker that's, the bakery is infested by cats and raccoons or something, and they try to spoil the croissants going from one end of the conveyor belt to the other. And they're gonna come by and turn off and on, and you have to shoot them out of the way with your thing to make sure that the croissant goes all the way through the conveyor belt, gets baked, gets put on the tray, and you can relinquish it to the hungry people at the cafe.
How did you just, when you get a compilation, do you just play every game?
I play I play these games on this like my wife listens to her iPod. The first 3 seconds and on to the next song, you know? So when you get a game, you want to maximize it as much as you can. You want to play through every game on there because you don't know what's on there. It's a great way to find some hidden gems just by playing a little bit of everything.
Wow. Okay.
And Comic Bakery was a game I've never heard of until I picked up this. It's only an import, but it's for the Saturn, and that's all right though. This is for the Wii. It is the Data East Arcade Classics.
One of the more collectible Wii games.
And it's getting up there in price.
It's getting up there.
I remember I first heard about it I had to have it because it's a compilation collection, and couldn't find it for a while. I ended up finding it at a local store. 20 bucks. There's a huge stack of them. I bought one. I only needed one. I didn't know it was going to raise in value. It's usually how it works. Some great games that are on there. There's going to be Burger Time. There's going to be
Heavy Barrel, Bad Dudes.
Bad Dudes. Oh, Bad Dudes. Love Bad Dudes. One game that's on there, A Secret Agent's pretty cool too. We could have covered that in its own video. But I wanted to talk about Wizard Fire.
Wizard Fire.
Wizard Fire. It plays a lot like the way Gauntlet became. Kind of like the old Dungeons & Dragons arcade game.
Okay.
Multiplayer, you choose your player, you go around the screen, you kill your enemies with whatever magical weapon you happen to have. You can do things like there's a guy on there that, picks up the magic thing and turns himself into a pig. And that's his special move, I guess.
If you have the ability. I don't know.
It's great. It's awesome. And another reason why I love compilation collections like this is because you can play these old arcade games, and there's an insert coin button. Now, we were dumping in quarters when we were kids. As much as you could, but yeah, you got that button on there, so I'm actually able to play some of these games there. But Wizard Fire, definitely worth checking out, along with all the other games that are on there, if you find one.
Here's one called Peter Pepper's Ice Cream Factory.
Yeah, it's a pseudo-sequel to Burger Time, only instead of it being burgers, you are making ice cream cones very Bubble Bobble-like.
Really?
It's a lot like Bubble Bobble, only you're pushing these giant ice cream scoops onto their cones.
I might have to steal this from you.
I don't know about that. Sticking with the Wii, we have the Pinball Hall of Fame. This is available for mini systems.
Yes.
I saw it over there. You have it a few different places in this collection. And I had to pick it up because it has Black Knight on here. And it's Black Knight video pinball. How else can you say about pinball other than the fact that it's pinball? It's the best thing ever.
So Black Knight is a physical table in real life.
Yes. Yeah, the games that are on here are actual real life pinball games.
You can see how much I played my copy of it.
And there's a lot of other great games that are on there too. But it's cool to have video pinball. The best reason to play video pinball instead of owning your own pinball machine is you don't have to upkeep it and update it.
Never breaks down.
Never breaks down, man. Your Wii might. You might have to charge the batteries or something like that. But I'm a huge Black Knight fan, so when I found out that Black Knight was on there, had to get it. Had to check it out.
Cool.
This may be a first for the Metal Jesus channel. We have a Nintendo homebrew.
Oh, interesting.
This is a homebrew now.
I wondered about that case.
I know, you saw this, you're like, I've never seen this before. If you're not familiar, Nintendo homebrew games are fan-made by fans for fans. People still make new video games for older systems. Kahan Games is one that still makes great games every year, and he put out 4 of his original games that he doesn't sell anymore. They're done. Collectors who collect homebrew games have them secretly. They're never going to sell them. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to put 4 games that I've made and put them on one collection. And one game he made, and the only way that you could have got it before was he made a port of Leisure Suit Larry, right?
Oh, I heard about
on
that.
the NES, and it's very well done. But inside, when you open it up, there's a little mail-in flyer. Mail in your flyer with 20 bucks, and he'll send you a NES port of E.T. for the Atari 2600.
Oh, man.
And on this collection is E.T. for the Atari 2600 playing on a Nintendo Entertainment System.
Now, we did say hidden gem, and I don't know if many people would call E.T. a hidden gem. I'm just saying.
I will stand my ground by saying E.T. for the Atari 2600 is not a bad game. We got it that Christmas, the Christmas that everyone got one.
Yeah.
I loved it. I had a couple of friends who didn't. I had a couple of friends whose parents actually brought it back to the store because it wasn't what they were expecting.
Right.
But when you learn how to play it, it's actually not a bad game. It really isn't. But it was cool to see that, he made a compilation collection of homebrews, and E.T. is on there. So if you want to see E.T. for the NES, there's a way to do it.
Wow, that's amazing. But he also has like Ultimate Frogger Champion in here, which is probably a really good version of that as well.
It really is.
Huh.
Yeah. Amazing things what they can do with homebrews nowadays.
Oh, and the thing about homebrews too, and I had to learn this, is that programmers today understand the hardware in ways that they didn't back then.
Right.
So they have much more time. They can dig a little bit deeper into the hardware. Sure. And RAM is cheaper. So sometimes, like for instance, on the Atari, you can make better games today as homebrews because you just have more RAM.
Sure. Well, and they have people are making specific programs now that will help you out along the way too.
Yeah, there's better documentation.
So instead of it just being old school QBasic coding and all that, it's a lot easier to do now than it was back then.
It's true.
That's very true. We have let's go with this one. This is also available on multiple systems. The Midway Arcade Treasures.
I have this.
There's a few of them. This specific version, it's not there. They made one for the PlayStation 3 that's a collection of some of their best hits, but they did not include Wacko, which is at the very bottom of the list there. Wacko, which I first remember seeing on Starcade, the old game show from the early 80s.
Wacko.
Wacko. It's a You get one screen, one room. You play as a little alien dude in a UFO, and there's multiple enemies, but they're in pairs. And you have to shoot one enemy, which stuns him, and then you have to shoot his matching enemy for them both to disappear. Huh. So there's a little puzzle aspect in there too. Okay. But if you shoot one enemy, then shoot a different enemy, then they both get unstunned, and then you have to still go through and shoot multiple enemies to take care of them. And then sometimes if you shoot one and shoot the other one, it's the wrong one, then they swap heads, and now you have a whole different sort of mess there. But it's a very, very old school arcade style. I'm a huge fan of Wacko.
Man, again, another compilation I had. I never played that game. This is awesome.
Moving on to Midway Arcade Treasures Volume 3. This is when you're starting to get into like some of the racing games, Race Dragons in there, Cruising USA. Stun Runner was the one I wanted to point out.
A really fun game.
Stun Runner was the reason I wanted to buy an Atari Lynx when it first came out.
And the arcade just looked amazing.
Well, because you got to sit in that little thing and everything.
Yeah, and it's all 3D, like polygons and stuff.
It was amazing. It was one of the first games I remember seeing polygons used like that.
Yep.
It plays a lot like the bonus stage of like Sonic 2. Where you're just kind of going down there. You can kind of go up and the pipes and all that. You still have to get your items, and you can shoot the other enemies too and all along the way. But Stun Runner, to me, was the reason I had to pick that up as it was.
That's a good pick. That's a good game.
I love it. We're bringing back the TAITO Legends. These TAITO Legends 1 and 2 are, to me, must-own compilation games for your PlayStation 2, no doubt about it. This one has super kicks. You remember kicks? It's like that. You have to draw the little lines, create the create the border. Or you have
you're trying to eat up part of the screen.
Right. You're trying to get
without getting hit.
All the real estate you can, like 75% or something like that, without getting hit by the enemies.
It is all about risk versus reward. Like if someone says that, and like this is the definition of it.
Kicks does that. However, Super Kicks is a much more the original Kicks is a very dark, menacing. The things moving around is making that kind of like throbbing sound. Like it's pretty scary stuff when you're a kid.
That, okay.
All right. I all I remember is things that were throbbing. I don't know. Super Kicks is a much more light-hearted, cartoony. You uncover pictures of the magical castle.
I remember that. Yes.
Okay, so Super Kicks is available on this one, among other games that are awesome part of the collection here. But I had to pull that up just for Super Kicks.
Huh? That's cool.
Finally,
yes,
this game right here. This is the Capcom Classics Collection Volume 2. I'm glad you had this for Xbox. I have it for my PSP Go as a download, but I believe you can buy it as a physical version too. On this is where it gets tricky. On this compilation collection, there is a game called Three Wanderers, which is another compilation collection, and inside that is a game called Midnight Wanderer.
This is like the Inception.
This is Compilation-ception.
Okay.
Midnight Wanderers, if you can imagine if Capcom made Metal Slug. It plays just like that. 2-player, fantastic animation, pixel sprites. You're shooting people in front of you, above you. Buildings are blowing up.
What?
And
I had no idea.
It's like if you love Metal Slug, you have to find Midnight Wanderer on Three Wonders on the Compilation Classics, Capcom Classics Collection Volume 2 for the Xbox. Now this is the Xbox version. I have it. It's called something else. It's called like Redone or Redo or something like that for the PSP. But it's worth checking out.
That is hilarious.
I'm winded just thinking about
it. I know, you made it through it. That's amazing. I had no idea. I had no idea. That's so funny.
Yeah, it's a super fun game though, and there's a lot of great games on there too, but that was one that kind of stood out to me. I was like, I have to find, and it's funny because when I first found it, that's what I went through, just like some of these other games, and I played a little bit of every game. And then when I went back to it, I was like, oh, where's that Midnight Wanderer game? And I couldn't find it. I was like, well, maybe it's on the other Capcom collection, and I couldn't find it on there either. And I was like, oh no, it's inside that one game. Inside the other game is where you'll find that one.
You know, but this highlighted, especially when you bust out the Atari Anthology, because I have that as well, and it's packed full of games.
Oh yeah, right here. It's 67 Atari 2600 games, and then 18 classic arcade games. So it has the arcade versions of Battletoads.
I forgot about the arcade version. It's so funny. Yeah. But then it got me thinking about the Activision collection as well.
Oh, I could have brought that here.
I know, and that's full of a bunch of hidden gems, or people don't talk about them anymore.
Well, a lot of people I grew up with an Atari 2600. It was my friend who had the Activision, so I only had what my friend played. So we had his version of Pitfall. We had Snafu was another game I remember playing. So we had a few games, but those are great to go back and say what are all the games I missed out on, all in one convenient thing.
I know. So funny. Well, dude, this has been so cool. And obviously, you guys collect compilations as well. And if we miss some hidden gems on there, love to know about it, because they're also on mobile, they're on
Oh, that's true. Sega just launched their mobile app that has all those new, all those old Sega games are coming back for your mobile. So there's
a ton of them.
There's a market for it. I'm the market for it. There's a market for it. I'll buy one of each.
All right. Where can people find you on the web?
I am at John Blue Riggs, Twitter, Instagram, my PSN name, everything online. I also host a YouTube channel if you want to learn how to fix your broken video games, or if you want to learn how to, perfect time for Christmas, hack yourself into a Nintendo game and then put that Nintendo game onto a physical cartridge. You can do that. And I show you,
very cool.
I have no technical background or knowledge. I have no electronics degree. I just know what fits where. I was once referred to as an approachable Ben Heck. That is a true story. Somebody mentioned that about me in the Video Game Dads podcast. It's like, oh, he's like an approachable Ben Heck. I was like, well, Ben Heck's pretty approachable.
He's pretty
approachable, but he's way more technical savvy than I am. I just know what goes where to make things work.
Huh, very cool.
And I show you how to do that too.
Oh, I know. It's an awesome channel. I watch it all the time. All right, man. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Take care. John Blue Riggs, blowing my mind. Coming over here and dropping the knowledge like he always does. Such a pleasure having that guy on. You know, it's funny, I mentioned it in this video, but some of these game compilations just have so many games on there that, you know, you tend to stick to the ones that you know. And so it was cool to have him come over and show me some hidden gems. Speaking of, if you guys like hidden gems, you're going to want to be subscribed to my channel because I release 2 new videos every single week. All right, thanks for watching.